The window that we're in, that you're
Oh, yeah, yeah.
stop video. Next to that, there's a little arrow that points up.
Yep.
Click on that.
Oh, choose a virtual background.
Yep. You can either choose one of the few that are there or upload a photo.
Ooh,
This is where you change all your settings and stuff too.
cool. I'm gonna pretend that I'm on a beach. How's that? Okay. How you doing, Michelle? Oh,
That looks much better.
it's kind of distracting.
I know.
That's good.
Uh, yeah, I don't like
Yeah.
it. um,
How do I
Michelle,
show myself? Why can't I figure this out?
you have to hit the little video button at the bottom.
I think
Oh,
by
there we go.
default you enter in without video and
Got it.
without sound.
Okay.
How are you?
Me? I'm fine. How are you guys?
I'm doing well, thanks. I'm still playing around with the videos. Okay. How are you doing, Megan, with your mailers that you said you were going to work on?
Just lovely.
What does
I have
that
a
mean?
little I have a little draft, but I was just like running into like making it not like how we talked about, like not, too like salesy given the circumstances that we're in right now. So it's not like really real estate heavy. It's more like personal about me and like my ties to the area, which I guess
Okay.
is for the first one, even if this wasn't going on, would maybe be a fine approach.
You want to read
And
it
then
to us? Or does
yeah, it's not like 100% done, but yeah, hold on. Okay. So I said, hello, Fairway Farms neighbor. My name is Megan. And then I put like BD in parentheses because some of them would maybe know me by that. Dumont, and I spent the first 27 years of my life growing up in this great neighborhood. That is until I got married and moved just west of Levan. My husband likes to tell people he could hit a 7-iron to his mother-in-law's house.
that's cute.
Clearly I wasn't able to stray too far. My grandparents were actually original owners in this neighborhood. They lived on Park Lane and myself on Westbrook. I love being able to run through the backyards to their house when I was a kid. And then
You
I have
live
to
in my
add in something
neighborhood?
other side of 5 Mile.
All right. I'm like, I have a Westbrook 1 block up and I live on
I
Park.
know. Yeah, because it goes from like Schoolcraft to like through
5.
7 Mile,
Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. I need to add a little sentence in here about how you'll still see me in the neighborhood, but this time it's with like my husband, kids, dog, whatever. I attended Hoover Homes in Stevenson and then went on to graduate from Eastern Michigan University with a bachelor's of business administration degree. After a decade plus of working in corporate advertising, I knew something wasn't fully aligning and I had to figure out that missing piece. This I stole from like what I put on my Facebook when I first put that out. Backtrack to Sundays of my childhood, spent driving around looking at houses with my grandfather, watching hours of HGTV with my mom, and enjoying the experience of buying and renovating my own first home. And I knew real estate was where I was meant to be. And then I said, let's see, with that being said, I want to offer myself as a resource for any real estate needs you may have. This is where I need to like add in a little something more, but not make it too salesy. And then I found on Breakthrough Broker, they have this cute like coloring, like it's like a page out of a coloring book, but it's
Cute.
real estate related. So I was going to print those out too. And I said, in case you have little ones in the home and they are going stir crazy, or maybe you are too, I've enclosed a fun little coloring sheet for them. And for you, some market info on Fairway Farms and zip code 48154. I hope I have the opportunity to touch base with you in the future.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I originally thought you were talking about like a postcard mailer, and I was thinking in my head like, ooh, that's a lot of information. But it's a letter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. I
I
love
thought
the
like maybe a letter would be a little bit more personal for the first time I reach out to them versus like a postcard.
yeah.
so I think you have I think everything that you did and everything you said is fantastic. I'll start there. I'm wondering, and Matt, you tell me what you think. So with farming and sending out letters, it's about repetitiveness, right?
Right.
The first time they see something, it's great, but are they going to remember it in 2 months? Would there be a way to like split up everything you were going to be including in this letter, maybe into 2?
Okay.
Right? Like, here's all this stuff about me. And then, I don't know, the market info. And then maybe you do a mailer in another 3 weeks with the coloring stuff.
Sure.
Or do the coloring stuff now because everybody's trapped at home. Maybe that's more applicable, right? And then you can give them an update on what the market looks like through what we're doing. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I'm almost thinking like just keep with the theme that you were starting with, making sure that you didn't want to seem so salesy. I think you could do everything you just said, including that coloring sheet, without market information right now. It's simply an introduction. It's like, hey, this is who I am. You obviously put there that you work in real estate, but you're not putting comps in there. And then you do comps in a couple weeks,
Okay. Cool.
And in a couple weeks reflective of the period of time that we're in. It's like, hey, phew, feels like you're coming out to, finally getting some fresh air, actually, just FYI, in the past 3 weeks, the real estate market still was relatively strong. And this is what happened. We're kind of still too early in on it. I feel like to be like, oh yeah, market's great.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So just everything that you did, including that coloring sheet without the market information.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys.
So I was thinking about, I want to send something out to my just little sub, which has like maybe 100 and something people. It's not big. What do you guys think about me just putting my address on there? Like, hey, I mean, I know they're not going to come knock on my door, but I want, people are taking walks a lot. I want to maybe make them mindful when they're walking down my street that, oh, that's where that realtor must live, somewhere around here. Do you think I should worry about weirdos or anything like that? I mean,
I'm in I mean, you're a single mom, at home. It's a little different than I think other people. Maybe I understand your concern. It's valid. I think maybe you could put across the information and just put like the street you live on, not necessarily your address.
house. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do like the idea, and it kind of goes back to, I was talking to somebody yesterday about like, well, 3 weeks ago, Phil and I were actually talking about how we were in such a political divide, this country.
Mm-hmm.
And, when times of, tragedy or big events happen, it kind of pulls us all together. And obviously like 9/11 came to mind, right? And this is, similar in that regard. And so the message is something like, in this time where everyone's hunkered down, you reconnect with your house, reconnect with your family, reconnect with your neighborhood. And, I've lived in this neighborhood for X amount of years, and I realize that it's, some people have moved out and some people have moved in, and it's, I just want to introduce myself, kind of thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And so what's funny is my oldest son, Jackson, we had to get out of the house. So we went to Kroger yesterday. And as we're coming back, there was this family that was playing basketball out in the driveway. Another family was walking their dog, and he was being sarcastic, but he says, oh my God, what are we back in the 50s? People are actually outside doing things in their neighborhood, which made me laugh. And he just woke up. He just came down the stairs. And he says, is that what it was like when you were growing up? And I said, yeah. Because, and then someone's hanging out, having a drink on their front stoop, or whatever. And he goes, because you guys were bored? And I'm like, yes. That's what we did,
Exactly.
So, do you want to say hi? It's a group of people that I work with. Did anybody see him yesterday during Pete's Forums when he was doing that? He was doing this.
I wasn't on Pete's Forum. No.
He kept going in from every side. I'm like, would you stop? This is work.
That's funny. There was like 3 screens worth of people for me. I had to like keep clicking over to see everybody.
Yeah, we had like 49 people on there, which was awesome. Ooh, wow. That's giving me a headache.
What, my background?
Yeah. It looks like your brain's exploding with ideas.
I'm trying to change it to something.
Anyway. Okay, so what about the addresses, Megan? Have you made labels, or have you started to do anything like that? Like figure out
No,
who you send them
not yet, but I was going to send them to just like the people that I don't know. And then I wanted to do something like a little bit more personal because there's still neighbors there that I like still know. My mom still lives there. And was going to just kind of send them something separate, like with, you know,
Yeah.
Hi, Matt and Sue, or you know what I mean? Like
Or
whatever
you
their
could
names are.
handwrite something in the corner.
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? You know, whatever.
Yeah, that would probably be maybe easier.
As a word of advice, while you're taking the time to do this, I don't know if you can you see, can I share my screen?
You should be able to. If it asks me to, I'll say yes, but.
Okay.
There you
Can
go.
you see it now?
Yep.
All right. So I
All of
went
his
through this
tabs.
tedious, I was just working on it. So I went through this tedious process of putting together my kids' school directory. All right. So, and then, so I was working on it just in a Google spreadsheet, and then I put it in the CSV to import into command, and then did it that way. Maybe not the most efficient, but whatever. So in there, and then I put a custom tag for all of those people that I inputted. That was this. And then I've been going through finding them on Facebook and adding the whatever their profile. Apparently Facebook, even with an email address or a phone number, they can find it or whatever. So then I did, you can see I have a few ones that didn't work. So I was toying around with it, but I'm running this campaign, and I've gotten 18 impressions, 7 clicks. I did the lead format. I should probably try another one and just do directs them to my website, because it's not really a lead generating. It's more of like a farming branding, but that is the audience to it is custom to my people with that tag. So this is
So
a
you can
Facebook
pick
ad.
only that group of people.
Yeah, so
for that ad?
you can do a Facebook ad to, so minimum real estate is 15 miles, right?
Right.
So it's like, I've been seeing tons of Facebook ads for real estate agents for anywhere from Shelby Township to Ann Arbor. I'm like, I don't want to be that. So this is my attempt at going small to go big, is like, I'd rather go deeper with those people, right? But you have to have that list in there. You know, you have to have either a tag or a some sort of, you know, list in there in order to be able to target those people, at least for social media.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you said this. I was checking a text from Kim because she's not able to be here. So when you do a Facebook ad,
Let me just
like that, you don't have all of those people's Facebook profiles, do you?
Okay, so I don't. But here's the thing, and I don't have a definitive answer on this, so I'm going on a little bit of blind faith. But is that when you have someone in your database, there is obviously a section to put their Facebook link. But I was also told that if you have a name, if they have a profile, if they have a Facebook profile, and this email address or phone number are tied to it, and you run an ad, it'll find them on Facebook.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if that's true or not. What I can tell you is that the current ad that I have going on is to anyone with that Hardy Elementary tag. Not all of them have Facebook profiles. I can't unfortunately see who's seeing it. But yeah, it's just my kind of trial in it.
Okay.
But what's cool, like, okay, so this person, let me just try. What's interesting is that even if you're not friends with someone on Facebook, you can add them. So like, let's say this person, Amira Bailey or Bellamy, like, okay, this is her, right? I'm not friends with her. She's friends with a whole bunch of realtors. So this is this woman. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to copy and her Facebook. I'm not friends with her, but I'm going to edit this and I'm going to put the Facebook URL in here, right? So boom, in theory, she should be getting that Facebook ad. Whether or not she is, I don't know, but I'm not even friends with her, right? So anyways,
caution
that's
you.
my micro farming.
So here's my caution, which I think you and I already talked about, and what you're doing is not the example that I'm about to give you, but I told you about that agent that got a hold of
yes. Yep.
So my daughter goes to Mercy, right? And I got a postcard from this KW agent in Plymouth, who I didn't know before, that's like started talking about the Mercy connection and whatever, and had a business card in there. And I thought, oh, she got my name out of the directory, and it kind of bugged me. Then I got a text from her like a week or two later asking me to download her consumer app. So I replied to her and said, hey, good hustle. I'm a KW agent too. I never heard from her again. However, I did get a text from another mom that said, hey, do you know so-and-so? She's a KW agent. And I was like, no, I know she works in Plymouth, but I don't know her. I did get a postcard from her. You know, she's like, yeah, and she just spammed us with more email. And my husband replied and told her to take them off the list. They were annoyed. So targeting them through Facebook is okay because they don't really know that you're targeting them.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And
exactly.
Putting their social media stuff in our command is okay because command is going to have capabilities to just fan out directly to certain profiles, right? That's why we're saving all of that. Yeah. And it's until they interact with you once, in my opinion, that you now have earned the right to start sending them direct stuff.
Yeah. Because I have most of these people, I have their email address and I have their address. And I haven't put them on a neighborhood or a neighborhood update because I feel like that would be spammy, right? That's coming out of the blue. I mean, I'm trying to, kind of build a
rapport,
I guess. Yeah, rapport and kind of a long-term thing. So, and that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now for in terms of farming, right? And then just being ultra aware of what's going on in those neighborhoods, right? Yeah. So I target the neighborhoods that I did that my kids, the elementary school that feeds, or the neighborhoods that feed this elementary school are, I don't know, let's say 7 of them, 8 of them. Those are the people. So all the people live in those neighborhoods. Those are areas that are around here, right? I also went through and put all of those addresses I pulled from PRD, right? I used I used a subdivision name. I did PRD. I exported it to a CSV file. I combined them all. So I have a master list of all the addresses. So if I do any mailers, I can do a mailer to a specific neighborhood rather than what I didn't like about like the KW mailer. And I know some of them are similar is you have to draw a radius or you have to kind of draw. I just wanted to just target the people that I wanted to target kind of thing. And so that's kind of my micro farming. And then in addition, just making sure that I at all times know what's going on with all of those neighborhoods. So I have a saved search, an auto search saved with those neighborhoods, right? For any new listings that pop up on the market, I get notified for. So it's like I'm hyper local, aware of what's going on, actives, pending, solds, kind of thing. So if I run into people in my farm, right, I know what's going on. I know that listing in Copperwood. I know that listing in Tanglewood or whatever. So that's kind of my comprehensive approach to this my start, if you will, in farming.
I don't want, well, I am going to steer the conversation in a different place, but we can come back to farming.
No, it's fine.
So in one of the Zoom meetings we've had in the past week, I don't remember if it was yesterday or maybe the team meeting, where Rob said that we can start using DocuSign, which I didn't realize. So I reached out to him today. Matt, you were on there, just confirming it. And Carolyn sent us a PDF, which I just added to the chat. So I believe you should be able to download it.
Mhm.
And it is a step-by-step instruction on how to use DocuSign within Command. The only form that is missing is that big real comp form, you know, where you would fill out everything that goes into the MLS. Oftentimes, agents just print out their MLS ticket and have the client sign that, right, as far as compliance is concerned. But every other form that we've been getting out of Dotloop for our market center seems to be available now. So this is a great time to get to know how to use that and become comfortable with it. Maybe if you have some pending deals, you can start shifting your stuff into Command the right way with proper opportunities, you know, not necessarily just right when you want to get paid. There you go.
Yeah. Add like create a dummy property, just mess around, right? Now's the time to kind of do that, right?
So Kim is crazy. She's not crazy, but she's not able to be on the meeting today because she has a different meeting she has to jump in on. But she did want me to share with everyone because we had said we were going to touch base on a lot of the activities on Monday that people said they were going to work on this week. She made 316 calls and talked to 264 people since Monday. I asked her, I said, how did you make 316 calls? And she said, she called past clients to check in on them. She called her neighbors about that bear hunt. And she called parents from school. And
that's especially impressive because she talks a lot on the phone.
You're right. So she must be getting skilled at honing
She's
and
purposeful.
Her conversations quick and short.
Yeah.
So
wow.
It's going to be very interesting when she has a chance to talk to us further, like on Monday, what those conversations looked like and how she feels about them and who's she going to follow up with or what, you know. I'm impressed.
Did she say how long it took her?
No, it was just, we'll ask her on Monday. Yeah.
Good for her.
So this was in between our last Monday session and today?
Yeah, like 3 days ago.
Thursday. I don't even know what day of the week it is. What day of the week is it? It's Thursday. Yes. So did she give you any sort of idea of what that like script was or anything like that?
No,
okay.
That's all I got.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Michelle, you said that you were going to work on some of those Facebook leads that you were getting. And I wrote the note closings. I don't know what that means. Do you have a couple closings coming up? You got on. Yeah,
I know. I was trying to get there. Yeah, I have a closing today at 3.
You see? I screenshotted this. I received your ad. I really like
sweet.
That.
Oh.
Yeah. I was scrolling through it. Does it look backwards to you?
No.
It looks okay. No, it looks backwards.
It looks straight. Yeah, I tried. Yeah, that was the one thing I there's one of the 2 ads that I placed. That was the price reduction. So.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
So, it's got a few leads. I've tried calling everybody. Some of the numbers didn't work. Some of them I've left messages with. I've only gotten 1 lead, and she emailed me instead of calling me. So I'm trying to get her on the phone, but we'll see. I'm supposed to talk to her today, but we'll see. So, but yeah, I have a closing today at 3, and then I'm trying to do something. My question for you guys is, so my 2 deals that I've had since joining the office have been in Livonia, but I live out in Wixom, and so I want to do something obviously with this just sold type of idea with that neighborhood, but and I know it's your neighborhood, Daniel, but doing something to kind of play off of this just sold to try to maybe create some more leads. What do you guys, should I do that or maybe focus on the area that I live in? Because I know it looks like a lot of people are choosing the farm areas where they live because that's where they, I don't know, feel more comfortable or just know the market better there.
So I was on a webinar and I was curious to know like how people who are doing farming and mailers we're shifting a little bit, right? And one of the things that multiple people said is that do not send a mailer out unless your intentions are to try to get listings, right? Unless your message is clear and your goal is to get listings. And I think when you are trying to get listings, you have when a just listed is yes, you're trying to get listings, but it's more of like a buyer. The call to action is a little bit more of a buyer. When you're farming and you're providing market data, that's kind of for listings, right? But that's also extended and long. And the one time to do mailer that is not in an area that you're going to focus on is through farming is a just sold, because it's kind of a proof of concept. It's proof that this is the story, right? And if you present that in a way that's compelling, that's going to get you potentially people to sell. But it is also not enough to just to send the
Yeah.
right. Okay. To door knock, to mail, and then also to call if you can as well. So for me, I did a just sold. It is also in my farm area, but the message was just sold in this neighborhood, and then it was what I did to sell it, right? So it was like professional staging, photography, videography, so aggressive social media campaign resulted in the sale of this home for the sellers receiving 100% of the sales price, or so. It was a little bit of a story, if you will, and I guess that would be what my recommendation would be: is if you're gonna, why would, yes, you sold a house there, but why would someone call you for you to be able to do it again? What's your specific story? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And again, it's a farming-ish type of piece that is about repetitiveness. So if you like that neighborhood, I know it's not near you, but if it's something you wanted to continue to farm, do that.
Well, it just seems to be an area I'm getting business in, obviously. But I know.
Are both deals in that same area?
Basically, 5 and 6 mile. No, they're not in the same neighborhood, but they're in Livonia. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying, is like, because I feel like one of the things that I'm doing is I'm all over the place, and I'm trying to maybe, should I be more focused on a farm rather than just trying to generically go in a county, or, you know what I mean?
Unless it's in an area or a neighborhood where you don't want to do more business, I think you should pursue it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks.
You're on mute. Muted.
I thought you would appreciate that I was muting myself, since I'm always talking all the time.
No, I don't hear any background noise in yours.
Dan, on Monday, you said that you were going to focus on contacting your sphere visiting tour. How has that been going for you?
It's been going good. Yeah, you can.
Hey, at least the weather's nice outside.
Yeah.
But the internet's not so good.
You're cutting in and out, buddy.
This.
Okay.
Sorry, Dan, we lost you, buddy. We can't hear anything.
Leisha, what have you been doing this week? Have you been trying to keep your head in the right place?
Yeah. What I've been doing is messaging everyone I know, and people I don't know too, but I've already had contact with. How are you? How have you been dealing with all the quarantine and so? I'm not doing as much as I wanted, because in the morning I stay with Sophie. I'm kind of getting lost because I get into conversations and I try to not to be so, once someone answers to me, I try to get back to them and continue the conversation. Some people are asking, oh, so how's work? And then I say, oh, I still have things going on. It's a little on hold now because I cannot show houses, but I do have a listing, but for probably for the, I'm gonna put it in the market after the 10th because the family is out of the state and she's coming back to, she hasn't signed yet the agreement, but I'm getting prepared. That one that's above price, they don't trust. It's not that they don't trust, they trust they're convinced they're going to sell for more than it's really worth. So and so that's what I've been doing. Something else I've been doing is go around the neighborhood and offer help for people who may not be. And then I attach my card with I wrote some notes saying, oh, if you need help or know anyone who needs help for shopping, like grocery, pharmacy, or any essential shopping, let me know. And I attach my card to it. So I don't know. It's a little bit of like business intention, but it's genuine. So some people, when I knocked, some people I didn't even hand my card because it didn't make sense. I was talking to them, but on the other hand, I didn't ask for information. So for the people, they know I'm a neighbor, but they don't know I'm a realtor on the other hand. So
Right.
but,
And I think the call to be helpful to people is a great one. I don't think people are going to start reaching out for real help yet because I think
because
kind of
everything is kind of
up,
under control. Yeah.
and they've set up whatever they went shopping for a couple weeks ago, but if this starts to stretch on, like I started counting my toilet paper this morning. And I'm like, okay, this is how much I've got. So in my mind, I'm already looking at when I'm going to run out. And so as this goes longer, people may accept or reach out for help, right?
Yeah.
So don't think that just asking or offering once and people don't accept is it, right?
Yeah.
I don't
I posted on Nextdoor too. Only one person has answered anything. Oops. You okay? Only one person made a comment. I posted on my neighborhood, my subdivision's Facebook page. Only one person commented too, but that's it. I took a picture of one of the cards and posted on my stories on Instagram and my Facebook page, the business one. So I don't know. I feel that that's what I can do now.
Unmuting myself. I think just making yourself visible is important, right? And just know that you're raising a hand and you're just telling people, hey, I'm here, and I'm does anyone need anything? Does anyone need any connections with anything? I posted a Facebook post just for my close people, my sphere or whatever, my friends list. I just, kind of did a little story or whatever. And then it was like, who can I, obviously my specialty is real estate, right? Took the opportunity to reemphasize that. But I said, also what I know a lot of people that do a lot of different things. What do you do? Who can I help connect or whatever? So I then commented, or then at the end of it was like, one thing that I need help with is that Dana and I have not put together a will and trust. And I've been saying I want to do that. And listen, I already have a referral for that, but it doesn't matter. So I put on there, and I had multiple people like not say I need help with this, but it was, you know, different things. And then it was like tagging a friend who, this is a person who actually I know, they're not in my database, but I know this person's a lawyer. Oh, and then I respond, thanks, you know, what's your contact information, right? And then a few other people commented different things like LegalZoom. And then I responded, you know, as my friend, a guy I know, Evan, I was like, hey, how's your business going? Like it started this like long dialogue between me
Nice.
and all these different people
Yeah.
that otherwise I wasn't speaking with, right?
Mhm.
And I think that's just all you can do, right? Is to be visible and
Mhm.
and to be genuine that you're helping. And again, I said real estate on the like small, really. That was just like, hey, I specialize in real estate, shameless plug. But you know what do other people do? What are other people's businesses feeling, right?
But did you
But
ask
my
specifically for a lawyer or not?
yeah, I said
Okay.
basically ended it was, hey, one thing that I need help with is, you know, who do you know that I should know, you know, that can help with a will and trust.
Okay.
You know, it was a past client, they own a couple of salons, and I know through following them on Facebook, they had to shut down their salons, you know. So he commented, and I was like, hey, you know, I'm feeling for your stylist, blah blah blah. So again, it was just a way to connect with people
Yeah.
on a variety of ways. So just keep it up. And I think it's also, you know, that's something that I posted. I think it's also important for everyone, you know, to comment and post on other people's things, right? Because that increases your visibility,
Yeah.
right?
So when you see me doing that later today, know that I copied it from you.
No problem.
And then you can just do one of these.
No, I mean, you'd be amazed at how many people DM you and stuff. I
Mhm.
mean, it's really, you know, but I didn't want any outside noise on that. So that's why I only posted it to my close friends list. So I took the time on Facebook to make that custom friends list because I didn't need realtors commenting and mortgage people.
Yeah.
I mean, I just wanted to keep it to the people that, you know, that are in my database kind of thing. So
Hey Matt, you mentioned that on Monday that you did that too.
yeah.
Like that customizing that friend group that you post to.
Yeah.
Is that simple? Can you go on there and do that? Or like I don't know how to do that because I would like to try to do something like that and not because I know there's other people like within the business and
Yeah, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So okay, so okay, see where I went on the left, friends list?
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody has, so I have a farm, I have real estate. So real estate's like agents, title, anyone related to real estate, right? This is
Okay.
more of like, so real estate stuff doesn't get like nauseate my aunt Diana, like doesn't need to be, right? And then this is when I created close friends. So you just create a friend or create a list, right? And then members, like you could start typing people, but I would just hit create. And then you can go through
And then just
and
select
either search or select the people that you want to put in that. It's tedious. I mean, I had like 4,000 friends. So going through and making sure, you know, I put everyone on there was a little tedious, but if you go to it, I have 829 people on it.
Right.
So
the other thing you can do is like create one or two lists, you know, that you know, whatever you want them to be.
Yep.
And then just go through your friend list. And when you click on that friend, there's a little drop down next to it. If you could show them that, and it just says add to a list, and you can click which list you want them to be on.
So like this is Jessica.
Right.
She's in my close friends, and then I could also add her to another list.
Okay.
And then when you do a post, right, it says newsfeed, right? It can be public, friends accept, and I have accept a few people only, and then custom.
I saw
and then you're
Bill West. Sorry.
Yeah. That was the one post I did I was in celebrating the sale of the house I took from them.
I remember.
So this would be your you know who you put that to. So it feels a little weird, but when you're posting, it just shows up in those people.
So now be
Those
careful.
people can see it.
When you make a post with a customized audience like that, your next post will automatically revert to that audience that you last used.
Yeah.
You have to start, when you start using that tool, be careful, because the next time you post a picture when you're at the gym and you did something cool, it's only going to go to some
Okay.
prospect or whoever your real estate list was. You know what I mean? So you got to be careful of
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yeah. And also don't know if, like if you post on Instagram and you select it to be shared on Facebook, I don't know if you can then make sure that Facebook only posts to a certain group. So if it's something like a Facebook, I don't know. I just like keeping posts the same, except
Right.
for stories. But is
So-
Rob on this call? Is Rob
Yeah,
stalking
he's
us?
got himself muted. He missed the beginning though, which was the better part. That's okay.
Let me ask you something, Matt.
Yes.
Can you, if not now, when we go back, but if could be the following Thursday, the next Thursday, it could be good. I don't know how to make this CSV thing with the public records.
Okay.
I'm really interested in it. How to convert it? Does it have to be a PC? Because I only have Mac.
No, I have a Mac too, and I'm not tech savvy. I just know that so anything you export out of Realcom, it allows you to do it as a PDF, which isn't going to allow you to then populate something. So when you go to export, one of the options is as a CSV, and it'll open up a CSV, or if you have a Mac, it'll open up numbers. But regardless, it's the important part is the spreadsheet. Then you can then copy and paste those columns into, like for instance, the command import template.
Okay, but if one day you can show us where to go in Realcom.
Sure. Oh yeah,
okay.
yeah. I mean, and you don't have to wait till next week. If you want to schedule something a little bit later, I'm happy to show people
okay, good,
to do it,
good.
screen share via Zoom. If that's
Yes.
something that you would find helpful, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
course.
because I wanted to do something in my neighborhood like this.
Got it. Rob just mentioned he is here. His Wi-Fi is unstable. He's got too many things streaming. No worries. Okay. What else?
If there's time, I was hoping to talk a little bit about this for sale by owner situation I have.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah. So I'll introduce that, and the FSBO part of it is unique, but ultimately it's still a similar situation that many people are in, where you have a buyer, right, and they have a property that they want, they're interested in. Under normal circumstances right now, we're essentially on pause, right? Everybody's toting these virtual showings and stuff. It's just kind of noise, in my opinion. All it is if the seller is there and they can film a video, or if the agent was able to film something before this mandate was enacted, it's just a way basically to see the interior of the home right now. I don't know of any buyers that are going to actually put an offer in. I was talking to an agent yesterday where I think that this opportunity should be really to make sure that you are buttoned up in your pre-approval. In fact, submit all your documents so you have a full pre-approval, not a pre-qualification. Do all your research in terms of a short list of homes that you'd be interested in. Now is the time to research the neighborhood. Look at the Google Street View. Look at it on a map. Is it near something wonky? Really like have all the research possible for a short list of properties that you plan on seeing as soon as this is lifted, right? Because we can't really go see one. Well, in Megan's case, she's got a buyer that can actually go to a FSBO right now who said, I'll show it, right? I'll allow here. And Megan's a little anxious because then she's basically putting her buyer and that seller directly in contact with each other. So we had talked about having something in writing stating if the buyer does purchase that home, that seller's already agreed to pay her a commission. Megan, do you want to share more about it?
Yeah. So one interesting thing in talking with the buyer this morning, she talked to her lender to make sure, like, he's still working and everything like that. And he told her not to go look at it. So I thought that was kind of interesting. What's that?
what was that reason? What else did the lender say?
She didn't say, she just said, my lender called and said he can process the loan. He advised that I cannot go to the house to view. He suggested a virtual tour. So I need to call her lender after this and talk to him because I haven't talked to him yet.
Regardless, though, you should get talk to that homeowner and get a one-party agreement. And just say, if my particular buyer shows up to your house, these are the contractual protections that are in place. Doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, and
Let
I
me
pulled
ask.
that. Sorry, go ahead.
Let me ask you this: so the agent saying something, or I'm sorry, the seller selling something, the mortgage person, we're saying something. What does the buyer, want? Does the buyer is the buyer worried about losing out on the home? Does the buyer have to buy something the next 30 days? The buyer, I
She doesn't
never
have
one
to
for
buy.
pushing off. Okay.
She doesn't have to buy in the next 30 days, but she's like, as you know, I'm desperate. That was her words this morning. So her situation is her and her brother. She moved back here from California in December to spend some time with her mom because her mom was older. Well, her mom ended up passing away like a month later. So she is currently living in her mom's house, which her and her siblings will end up having to sell. But that being said, it's not like, it's not listed or anything like that yet. So they don't have to be out of it in the next 3 weeks. She's anxious to get out because she doesn't like living with her brother, but that's not a good enough reason, right? To say, okay, well then we can go look at homes. She's particular about where she wants to be. This is actually Castle Gardens, Michelle. So if you want to maybe try and go get it listed, but it just sold for $255 a year ago, which is why I believe they're doing for sale by owner. That's my guess, at least. When I talked to the buyer the seller yesterday, she mentioned a divorce. So I don't know what that does in terms of timing on their end. I wanted to talk to her today and get a little bit more clarification on that. So, that's the situation. One thing I feel somewhat unclear on is appraisals and inspections. It sounds like those are kind of like to the discretion of the particular company. I know that like Craig Lee is still doing them. And Sharon Kay told me that she had heard some appraisers were doing it via drive-by. But I didn't know if there was it didn't seem like there was a clear answer on if those could be happening or not.
Yeah, so I think we have a few things here. One, whether or not your buyer is comfortable seeing it or not. Sounds like the seller's all for it because they need to get it sold, which puts your buyer and you in a relatively decent position in terms of motivation. Assume that they go see it, assume that they like it, and assume that they want it, and you're able to write up a purchase agreement. My understanding is that an inspection can happen, although no one can be there, which is pretty crazy. No buyer, no you, no listing agent, and no seller. In addition, same with appraisals. No one else can be there. I don't know if every company has rolled out the ability to do drive-bys, but I suspect they're pivoting. If this lift gets done in a few weeks, in theory, a lender might wait to do the appraisal after that. I would definitely be careful of the number of days I put in a contract if I wrote up a PA at this moment.
So say we wrote up a purchase order. Can you put, that you'll do the inspection within 30 days?
Well, you can put whatever you want. You can put whatever you want on a purchase agreement. And the beautiful thing is a for sale by owner doesn't know any different. We know what normal is, 7, 10, 5, whatever. We know that. You could put 30-day inspection, 60-day close on a PA for a FSBO. They wouldn't know any different.
Yeah. Hey, Megan, do you happen to know how much money down she's going to put on this house?
So she's got a substantial amount of money to put down, like over $100,000.
Okay, so in cases, again, we don't know, and there's no hard and fast rule, but in cases where there's a lot of equity that's going to be put down on the house, that whole drive-by appraisal thing is more likely.
Okay.
I actually had for a buyer that's putting 20% down on a home here, the appraisal was waived. The automated underwriting just said, this is a stable area. There's, this purchase price isn't elevated in comparison to what's going on in that area. You're putting 20% down. You're a low risk borrower. We're waiving appraisal.
Okay. So I think that one of the bigger first steps you have to tackle here is to get that homeowner to agree to pay you that 3%.
Yeah.
And
But
then
you said they already did.
Well,
she did?
no, they were like, she was like,
Oh, they're
well,
considering
I think
it.
she was caught off guard by me asking that, to be honest.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, we could, possibly negotiate that as part of the sale. Like that was like what she said.
So back to Matt's point of, our buyers really going to write offers, based on some kind of virtual listing. I don't know that as a seller, I would take my house off the market if someone hasn't actually walked through my house. However, I can envision a situation where maybe you accept offers, let's say multiple offers in order, like you were the first one, so you're number one. And if someone else offers me something, they're number two. And when all this loosens up, if number one comes in, walks through it and likes my house, it's theirs. That's just my mind. As a listing agent, that's kind of where I would be, because anybody can give you an offer, you make it pending, you're off the market, and then they walk through the house 2 weeks later and they don't like it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Or
Yeah.
another thing that I'm thinking of, and I don't know the buyer's thoughts on this, but you could write up an offer right now for whatever the buyer is comfortable, include your commission in that, and just have a contingency that says this is contingent upon the buyer having a walkthrough within 7 days.
You could put rather than a one-party agreement, you could, I guess, write a special condition that says, and the seller will pay the 3%. You could probably build it into part of the offer, don't you think, Matt?
Yeah, the thing about the one-party agreement and the blanket 3%, I think the seller is kind of thinking, well, I want to look at the offer as a whole, right? If they give me what I want in price, I'd be willing to do 3, but if they negotiate lower, I'd be willing to do less. So that's why my thought was, here's an offer, here's the price and the terms, it's contingent, and the commission that you'd pay, and it's contingent upon everything that's normally contingent upon, as well as a showing. Which is kind of weird.
Yeah.
It could be part of your inspection.
Right.
Yeah.
Because although, this is like right in the area. There was actually a house like 2 doors down that I don't know if she actually physically went and saw it, but this one's nicer than that one, and she wanted that other one. Like, I don't have any hesitation that she would, if she could get in there and see it, she'd probably write an offer,
I just want to make sure obviously I care about your client, but I care about you. I want to make sure you are protected.
Right. So I pulled up this notice of buyer agency, but is there a different one? That one party one, is that something different, or are these the same thing?
Yeah, the notice of buyer's agency agreement is what's included in a purchase agreement, what I typically include, because it's the only place that specifies the commission amount, especially in a FSBO, because it's not on the MLS. There's nowhere, unless you write it in a purchase agreement, that states sellers to paying X percentage in commission. So it just protects you. The one party agreement is what you would use in this case, or if you were, let's say, hosting an open house for a FSBO, you said, listen, I want to hold your home open. If I find a buyer, you're going to pay me, right? And you have this signed, but it's not a listing agreement, right?
Okay.
And I don't exactly know where that is. I'm sure it's
I just found it. I was searching the number one, and it's spelled out as one.
Okay,
so
good.
If when you work with, like, let's say she says, yes, I'll pay you 3% if you, bring me a buyer. How does that work with like title? Like, obviously I'm still ordering it for my
doesn't matter
buyer. She takes care of it by herself on her end.
Here's the thing. Yes, in theory, but you're holding their hand along the way. You're making sure, and that's why I would say, listen, we're not doing a split title. We're going to do everything. You just drive the ship. Say, I'll take care of ordering title. The title company will communicate directly with them in regards to their policy and such. You're going to have to keep them updated as far as what's going on in your end. But it's basically like, you literally just taking the listing agent out of it, and the agent, the seller does everything. They're not going to know everything. So you're doing both. Yeah, you're doing both roles, but you're not fiduciary to both roles.
Right. So, but I can order.
You could order title, include them, and say, we're going to be using both companies, and they'll send the owner policy to them.
We're not doing a split title, is what it's going to be.
Yeah, no.
Which actually will save them some money. the owners to not do the split.
Let me raise a subject here. Craig from Home Team has just called me. On Monday, someone, a client has had, on Monday or Tuesday, I'm not sure, they had scheduled an inspection for today. And I've been in touch with him, and he said, "Oh, no, don't worry." He called me just to be sure, to make sure that I was okay with that. I was really going forward with the transaction and everything. And yesterday he called me and said, "Oh, we're all set, everything's fine." But he just called me and said that unless that I should ask my client to find someone else to do the inspection, because Governor Whitmore was very clear that you just have to leave
This
if
morning.
it's and that he thinks that the real estate business is trying to real estate agents and the brokers are trying to force a situation that doesn't exist. It's not that because if we're not leaving, why should he leave? Why should inspectors leave?
My suggestion is to go to that addendum that came out on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
I've already used it too. And it says, if anything is delayed because of the governor's orders, you get an extension.
Yeah, the things he talked to the listing agent, and she's a nice person, but she was really, she's trying to force the situation too. Because the first time I said, I don't blame you. The first time I talked to him, I said, I don't blame you if you don't want to go. I totally understand. I wouldn't go because I don't know if the police officer stops me, what am I going to say? What am I doing here? So, and then he said, no, it's fine. We're still doing it. I said, okay, it's up to you. But now he said that, oh, maybe he can try someone who's willing to break and I'm gonna talk to my buyer now. As soon as we finish this, and my position would be to postpone the inspection for the 13th, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, guys. We're in uncharted territory. This has never happened before. Hopefully it'll never happen again. And we have to keep in mind that we all want the same thing, right? You don't want to be delayed. Your buyer doesn't want to be delayed. The seller doesn't want to be delayed. But we also need everyone on the same page in terms of what we're comfortable with, right? Yeah. If your buyer is gung-ho and your inspector's on board and the seller's fine, let them do it. But if not, I think it's in everyone's best interest to have an addendum signed that puts this off, to provide, to push off the urgency for things and let things, kind of figure out. Because I don't want anyone doing things that they're not comfortable with, God forbid,
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't want either. And he said, oh, I'm going to honor it for tomorrow. I said, Craig, just do it if you really feel comfortable. I don't want you to put yourself in a situation that I wouldn't put myself in. So I totally understand if you don't go.
Is the home occupied?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that adds another element to it. If it's a vacant home, it's a little different.
But even though he's leaving, the order is do not leave. So
you need to get that addendum signed. And if she
it's already signed. It's already signed.
Then
I'm just going to talk to her and said, and she was trying to, because the sellers need to have the closing, because they have a contingent offer on another house, and so
unfortunate. I mean, that's a real issue, right? This is a domino effect, but that's not your concern, right? Your client is.
Yeah. So. Okay. Yeah. No, just wanted to share, because the other day, I think yesterday, the subject was raised again, and oh no, it's fine, inspectors and appraisers, everything is okay, it's allowed. And then I thought, why can they leave and we cannot? But okay, I only have this deal going on now, and so okay.
I think if you ask 10 people, their interpretation, you'd actually have 10 different answers. So
Yeah.
Maybe.
on the safe side, do what your gut tells you, I
Yeah.
think.
Okay.
All right, I got 12
right,
o'clock
we
call.
got-
Gotta
Okay.
jump.
Jump out,
Thank
yeah.
you.
So we'll see you guys Monday
Yeah.
at
I forgot
11 for
last Monday.
accountability. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. And Matt, let me know if you can guide me into
He's
the.
gone. He already
Okay. Okay.
All right. Bye.
I'll text him later. Bye, guys. Have a
Bye.
good day. Bye.